So it's not good at drawing conclusions. Now, the other thing that also goes into this conversation, as far as like thinking you have a relationship with AI or using it for things that are inappropriate, is I would say it doesn't really have empathy or emotional intelligence. I know that it can be made to feel that way because they've been programmed to give you certain language that feels like you're speaking with someone. But I want to just call out the fact that all it's doing is mirroring you. You're a data point. The AI is going to speak to you the same way you speak to it. It's going to use language and jargon similar to what you use when you're texting your friends. That's why you start to feel like you have a personal connection to it. But once again, it's only pulling from a set of established data and principles. So, what I mean by that is, let's say that you're having mental health concerns, but your specific symptoms aren't printed in any documentation as pointing to a specific mental health diagnosis. If you ask AI what's going on, it's gonna tell you you're okay. But you're feeling like, hey, I don't feel okay on the inside. I feel like something's wrong. That's where those things where like going to a therapist is actually better than using AI, or like for medical attention. But just sticking on the empathy portion, I know we have an urge to personify and humanize AI because it makes it easier to understand, but it's really important to keep those things separate and know that it does not have feelings, right? That's why there is a debate with Anthropic's CEO in the Department of War, which used to be called the Department of Defense, because it doesn't have the reasoning to even say the difference between this is a threat and this is a civilian that's not a threat. That's why you wouldn't want to use AI yet for something like weapons, because a guy running down the street in his Nike all black head to toe, it could look the same as someone in tactical gear running towards you. And if they were to use, let's say, a data set from police camera footage where a higher percentage of the time the perpetrator matches a certain look, the AI will simply replicate that pattern. And if it sees someone that looks that way, its prediction is this is a perpetrator and I need to shoot on sight. With our human experience and our contextual understanding of history and human evolution, we know that sometimes there's these things called biases and a lot of isms that impact the way certain people are seen by the authorities. So it may not necessarily be true that that person is a perpetrator, but because of the data that it's trained on, they may reflect the image of what is now being trained to be a perpetrator, because 80% of the time, someone who looked like XYZ resulted in an arrest. So back to the empathy point, it's not empathetic, it's mirroring empathy, it's mirroring you. It is a program. You don't have an AI girlfriend or an AI boyfriend. You don't have an AI friend. You don't have an AI business manager. You don't have an AI marketing director. You don't have an AI project manager yet. You have a program and a system with a set of rules and vast amounts of data that it can ingest to make it feel like you're speaking to one of those people. So I know I got really serious out of nowhere, but it's like extremely scary, the rise in AI girlfriends and boyfriends, and also the decline in social interactions. So don't use it to replace social interaction. Your friends are going to be imperfect. Your boyfriend is going to hurt your feelings sometimes. Your girlfriend is going to yap your head off when you just want a beer. That's okay. That's the beauty of humans, and what we get out of our human relationships and interactions is outweighs, the drawbacks if you're doing it in a healthy manner. Now, one thing you can use AI for is to ask you for help with some common social issues or skills that you may struggle with, or ways that, hey, I never make friends. Like, how can I make friends? It can read data and books and things that help you with those things, but it does not have empathy for you. It does not love you. It will not hold you at night. Or, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, being concise. Oh my gosh. AI talks so much, and I'm a direct person, and like when I'm in my mode with interacting with my AI, like I'm like, okay, we're in efficiency mode. So it will print you out a novel every answer. One of my most used prompts is be concise. Actually, my AI is so smart that it noticed I was always asking it to be concise, and it started giving me a TLDR, too long didn't read, 3 bullet points at the top of its output, and then saying the rest. And I was like, you ate with that, thank you. So it's not good at being concise. Now we're gonna get into the limits of these models at large, and what may be impacting you. So the next thing it's not good at is thinking too long. I put that in quotes because once again, it's not thinking, it's not alive. But when I say thinking too long, is the longer your conversation is with AI, or the more prompts you put in and outputs it puts back, the more difficult it is for the program to keep up with the conversation. So you know how you can be talking to your friend for like an hour, and like say you're catching up with your bestie over drinks, and y'all have started catching up about this one thing, and then y'all switched to a whole other topic about, let's say y'all are catching up about dating, then y'all start talking about family, and then in the middle of it, like she says something else back, but it's like about like the dating story. Because you're a human, you can go there with her. Like, if you're with like your sister or someone really close, like you could be having like 4 different conversations in one conversation, and you'll be like, yeah, and then remember in 3rd grade with blah blah blah, and you're like, no, but seriously, like we have to talk to her about ABC, because like, and you're not having to say, excuse me, I need to translate context back to the discussion about our aunt. Now I want to transfer context back to the discussion about dating life. You just go with them and you follow the stream of consciousness, because your human mind and synapses has like infinite capacity. AI doesn't have that. So once you get, each program is different, and depending on if you like buy credits to get the premium features or whatever, once you get past a certain length of conversation or a certain level of complexity of the conversation, let's say you start talking about multiple different topics within one, that's when it starts to glitch or hallucinate a lot, where it'll say something really weird, and you'll be like, wait, that's not right. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5. And it'll be like, oh, you're right. Thanks for telling me, Ariana. What I meant to say was 2 + 2 = 4. And it's like, okay. And then you ask it something else simple, and you're like, wait, back to what we were talking about. Like, why did you leave out the part that I really liked when I told you to write my copy? And it'll be like, oh, you're correct. I missed the last paragraph. And then it'll print it out, and it's like wrong again. That's because it's been thinking too long. So now you've had a conversation that has exceeded the capacity of the chain of prompts and outputs for it to still be able to follow and contextualize those and put them into neat categories. So too long, I would say, with AI. My sessions, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes using Microsoft Copilot or Gemini. I've never actually timed it. I might do that for you guys, but I would say, yeah, somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes. Um, just give it a break, start again tomorrow. And even like, I don't know if your company uses Slack AI. My company has Slackbot. Definitely, I would say about the same 20 to 30 minutes. It starts to get real rusty. Give it a break, pick back up tomorrow, or then you can switch to doing manual work and then go back tomorrow to doing the AI work. Or I've become very strategic with having AI help me, just like, what is the best way to tackle this task I need to do? And these are all the pieces involved. And this is the configuration I need troubleshooted. Print this all out for me in an instruction manual. And then tomorrow or later on, I'll go follow my own instructions step by step. But the AI made the instructions because I didn't know how to do it, right? I just curated the context of the guide. So thinking too long. Knowing its limitations. So, baby, AI ain't gonna be loud and wrong every time. I ain't never met a louder, wronger nobody than AI. It will bold-faced tell you like 2 + 2 is 5, baby girl. It'll give you a fake source and everything. But when I say knowing its limitations and being loud and wrong, in all seriousness, what I mean is there is this concept called hallucinations, which I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of, because every time I bring it up, it kind of seems like a light bulb goes off in their head. So let's talk about what hallucinations is, right? But to understand what hallucinations is, you have to understand how AI works. At its core, AI, any AI tool or model, is a mathematical function. It's a statistical function that is a predictive function. So, what does that mean? Statistics is a type of math. Predictive is if A plus B plus C divided by D equals E. I'm just saying that you put in variables on this side of the equal sign, and it gives you an output on that side of the equal sign. The variables you put in are your prompts, your questions you're asking, your task you needed to do. The output is the prediction. So I know you're like, it's not giving me a prediction, it's giving me an answer. No, it's giving you the answer that it predicts is most likely to be right. So sometimes it's wrong. There's only a certain margin of error where they say it's an acceptable prediction to output. And the idea is that over time, the model gets better and better as you give it feedback. So 2 things here. It can hallucinate, and it doesn't know when it's hallucinating, because every time you put an input in, there's right answers and wrong answers, and it's just chunking out one thing from the list. It doesn't know if it's the right one or the wrong one. You know if it's the right one or the wrong one. So it's important that anytime you get a hallucination, you help train the model to be better by telling it, hey, that's wrong, and this source doesn't exist. The link you sent me goes to a cooking manual, and I asked you about plant care. That way it knows, it starts to understand, oh, I'm not good at this task, and I need to it'll most likely trigger a feedback response to be sent to the engineers and the admins who create and maintain the model. So it's not good at knowing its limitations, and it's our job to express those things to the tools we're working with. So, long video, but we got it done. So, things it's bad at: drawing conclusions, empathy, being concise, thinking too long, and knowing its limitations. We love AI around here, but we need to know what it's good at and what it's not so good at. So I'm hoping that this can help you work smarter by knowing what tool to use, when to use it, and what tasks it'll help you be better at and work smarter, not harder. So the last thing that we need to talk about is my little soapbox. I'm going to take a minute. AI is terrible at one thing. Terrible. It actually doesn't do it. And that is actually doing the thing. It's great for ideas, it's great for organizing, it's great for motivation, it's great for structure, it's great for strategy, but you, the human, have to get out there and do it. You have to do it. You have to put yourself out there. You have to take the risk. You have to put in the hours. You got to do the crunches. You got to eat the salad. You got to start the marketing plan. You got to sell yourself. You got to hire people. You have to do it. And as much as we love AI and we love working smarter, we also want to ensure that we lead with transparency, honesty, and trust ourselves. The point of AI is to take off some of the load, but it can't do everything. Even if you set up a fully agentic business or YouTube channel, you have to set it up, right? So that's my last little part. It's not good at doing the thing. So I hope you enjoyed this spiel about what AI is good and is not good at, and I hope you can bookmark this and refer to it when you're trying to find out ways to incorporate AI into your life and business or personal life to work smarter. If you want advice on that from an expert, you can always book a free consultation with me to just have a conversation about what goals you're working towards and maybe even what roadblocks you're facing. We offer templates, project planning templates. I also offer services, consulting services, where anywhere from me just guiding you on how to better manage your projects to actually hands-on managing them and incorporating AI into every part of the project plan where it makes sense. So look in the link in the description and all the information will be there. And you can also follow me on Instagram at smart.works. So I have a little treat for you. We did a lot of talking, but I think show and tell is going to be what brings this whole channel together. So following this, if you want to watch the video to the end, I have a show and tell AI tutorial of me working with AI to create a LinkedIn post. So watch along, let me know what you think, and feel free to drop any questions in the comments. Thank you.